Secretary Clinton's biggest political battle is to convince voters, especially independents, that she can be trusted. A brand new CNN ORC national poll shows 68% of adults think she is not honest and trustworthy. Just 30% say she is honest and trustworthy. Clinton campaign manager Robbie Mook saying to Politico, quote, "I don't think people will fully appreciate who she is until, knock on wood, she's elected president." A special on the record Democratic strategist panels here, Joe Trippi and Jessica Ehrlich. Joe, first of all, it's sort of odd is that he's telling the voters to wait till after election, and that's when she'll get trustworthy, which is sort of an odd notion. And also the fact that Donald Trump has got lousy numbers too in trustworthiness. Nonetheless, they're neck and neck almost on this. What does she have to do tonight to start picking off the independents and the undecideds that she's trustworthy?
Well, no one speech or convention is going to solve that issue, the trustworthy issue. It's going to take between now and November and beyond if she wins. I think part of what's happening is a lot of these polls right now, you're going to get bounces, but you're also on these attributes like trustworthiness. They don't matter as much as we make out.
I would think, Jessica, I think these polls are sort of odd in the sense that it's not whether you agree with the person's policies or not. And I don't even know if you get to that because you don't think the person's trustworthy. I mean, and that's true. Both candidates have lousy numbers, but that's peculiar.
Well, I think in both senses, there's a distrust people have about what their character is. And that's sort of what they've been trying to address here during the convention, particularly with Hillary, making her more human and bringing her around. But people know what she will do as a president. And I think that's sort of the most important thing that we will see coming out of tonight. That's how voters decide who they're going to vote for in this election when they've got sort of a best of the worst option, I think, for a lot of people.
But what happens here is there are people who clearly, as those polls show, large numbers of people who have issues with trusting Hillary Clinton. They also have issues of trust with Trump.
With him.
But some of it also is the temperament thing. Does this guy have the temperament to be our president?
What
happens to voters who have both of those things? In other words, they're concerned about trusting her, but they're worried that he doesn't have the temperament to be president.
But that's what the two sides pin on. The Republicans pin on her that she's crooked, so he can't be trusted, and the Democrats pin on him that he's reckless, he's going to push the button.
And somebody's going to win that fight between now and November, or solve part of their problem, which is, by the way, why he's on a prompter now a lot, and doesn't put himself into so many situations where it's an impromptu press conference where he's off a prompter like he had
just on like Friday.
Let me give you the last word on this, Jessica.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting that yes, those numbers are out there, but voters are still voting for Hillary, even if they think she's untrustworthy. And that's exactly to your point. It's not the only indication that people are using as to how they're going to vote in November.
I'm surprised that she doesn't have the millennial women.
I am, and I'm not.
In droves, I mean.
Yeah, well, they are just a different generation. So, they're doing a lot of outreach to them. I think there's a lot of economic issues there that need to be addressed. They're sort of already above the class ceiling.
My theory is they've seen so many women on the Supreme Court, head of the Federal Reserve, that having a woman do something. And Leader Pelosi says don't vote on gender.
But that's why I think she said the other night, you're next. I think it's not about me. It's about you being next. One of you is going to be president to appeal to that.
Joe, Jessica, thank you both.